Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Evan here, and welcome back to another ranking video on the channel. Today I'll be ranking every single EA Star Wars game, from Star Wars Battlefront 1 2015, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes 2015, which is actually a mobile game, Star Wars Battlefront 2 2017, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2019, and Star Wars Squadrons which released 2020, which actually released October 2nd. When this is posted, should be October 14th. So when it's posted, it should be 2 weeks ago. Not 2 weeks ago, maybe a little less than 2 weeks ago. And unfortunately, I haven't gotten my hands on the game yet. Hopefully, I'll get my hands on the game in November. But seeing gameplay and reviews of the game, I'll be ranking it today in this video. Of course, the 5 games I mentioned before are the 5 games I'm ranking today, which many people will have different opinions on it. So, of course, if you have an opinion, leave it in the comment section down below. And no, I actually think Star Wars Squadrons is a good game. And if you think the ranking is low for Squadrons, I apologize. I just haven't gotten the game yet. But yeah, we're going to start up with the number 5 spot. And it's probably, I think everyone can agree, is the worst EA Star Wars game. And that's going to be Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Like, I don't know. Have people even heard about this game? I mean, it's a mobile game. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. I mean, I've heard of it. I've played it before. And it's not as fun as I thought it was going to be. And the trailer, like, of course it's a mobile game. So the trailers are going to look a lot different from what the actual gameplay is. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not, it would definitely not be one of my least favorite games I played, obviously, but pretty much you gotta attract a certain player base, especially when it comes to being a mobile game like that. Like, obviously, it's not too good enough to be a console or a PC game. It's good enough to be a mobile game. And honestly, there's not much mobile players out there. There's a lot more console and PC players out there. So the fact that it's a mobile game, you're not going to get a really big audience for it. And the fact that it has a lot of downloads and players on it, it's kind of surprising to me because it's not really a fun game in my opinion. And it's just not as fun as I thought it would be. That's why it's going to be at the number 5 spot. But that could be different towards people's opinions. But I definitely think for a lot of people's opinions, this will probably be the worst EA game when it comes to Star Wars. For the number 4th spot, which it could start changing, but honestly, I don't think this is going to change people's opinions either. I think the 4th and 5th spot on this list is probably going to stay the same for most people's lists. But at the number 4th spot, it's probably going to be Star Wars Battlefront 1, which released also in 2015 as well. I absolutely love the original trilogy. The original trilogy is my favorite trilogy for Star Wars. And it even has its own game, Star Wars Battlefront 1. And, that might be good for someone like me. I think Battlefront 2 actually does all 3 trilogies better, especially the originals better than this game. But this game lacks a lot of stuff. I mean, it was definitely very less or lack of content when it launched. And with 3 heroes, 4 maps, it might have had a lot of game modes. I'm not too sure. I actually ended up getting this game, I think, in 2016 or 2017. I'm not sure what year, but it was one of those 2 years. And those years was when it actually stopped getting updates, which I'm thinking about it now. It's probably 2016. I never had the Season Pass, which is also something I'm actually going to talk about here. Season Pass, I don't understand why you would have a Season Pass for 4 seasons, $50. It doesn't make sense. I think the Season Pass was really expensive. It did stop development, so I obviously didn't get the Season Pass because there's nothing going to be new in it. But when it comes to Season Pass, though, it actually will come with a hero and villain, and it's going to come with weapons and star cards and maps and game modes. When compared to Battlefront 2, when it has, some seasons has one hero and villain, another season has 0, another season has 2 heroes and villains, or that a season for Battlefront 2 will go on for a month for one era, just for 2 months for another era, and then almost a whole year for another era. It wasn't balanced when it comes to seasons. With this game, it was balanced when it comes to seasons, because they get a certain amount of weapons, heroes, they were released in a certain amount of months each. I think the Season Pass was a bit too overpriced. I am pretty happy that in Battlefront 2 was free DLC compared to Battlefront 1, where you had to pay $50 just to unlock all 4 seasons. Kind of stinked. And there was no story mode, there was no campaign, it was just offline skirmish or missions content, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I mean, that's what I actually play with Battlefront 1. I didn't really have much experience when it came to multiplayer. I apologize if you can hear the noise in the background, but that's my dog. I didn't think it had good offline content, especially for the people that either aren't allowed to play multiplayer or just aren't allowed to play since they don't have Xbox Live Gold or whatever the case is for whatever console or PC you're using. It was a bit unfair, especially for the offline players, which this game it kind of is for Battlefront 2. Not really, but I felt like they didn't really focus on offline when it comes to that stuff. But that's Battlefront 1 at the number 4th spot. Now we're going to start off our top 3. Now, of course, the top 3 is probably going to change for everyone here. Most people here that are watching this, I think number 4 and 5 is going to say the same for a lot of people. But for the top 3, it's definitely going to range and vary across people's opinions and lists. But for number 3, again, what I was talking about Squadrons before, since I didn't play it and just looking at gameplay and everything. For number 3, it's got to be Star Wars Squadrons. It is at number 3 for some reasons. Of course, one, I don't have the game. I haven't experienced gameplay on my own. I just saw videos of Squadrons. I saw the reviews, the reviews. I think it's okay. For a player base, I think it's different. When compared to something like Battlefront 2 or Battlefront 1, you're gonna have the player base of most Star Wars fans. For Battlefront 2, I'm gonna give a better example here. Battlefront 2, you could either play on the ground as a trooper, a hero, a vehicle, or you could play the Starfighter Assault, the dead game mode, when it comes to that. And you can go ahead and be like, a lot of for people that play Starfighter Assault are really the Starfighter fans. You're going to get those type of people in Squadrons. You're not going to get the people that don't play the Starfighter game modes at all because it's boring, or let's just say even the Starfighter modes got updates and people still don't play it. That's probably because you're not the type of person to play in the Starfighter. When it comes to this game, you can play as a ground as a hero or trooper. You can only play as a ship. And I heard that it's not much maps. It has a lot of customization though, which is good. I heard it's not much maps, and if they're not going to add any future maps, it's definitely going to be a lack of content, and it's definitely going to go dull very quickly. As I was watching one of the reviews, and that's a really good point. I didn't realize that. I didn't do much research into Squadrons as much as I did for the other games, and that is 100% true. If they're not going to add too many maps in the future, or they're not going to add any maps at all, it's going to be dull very quickly. It has a good story mode. I think the story mode, I heard it was very good or decent. I obviously like Jedi Fallen Order story mode better. But yeah, when it comes to that, I think it has decent story modes when it comes to those games. When compared to a single player game like Fallen Order, that's obviously going to have a good story mode. I know Battlefront 2 didn't have a good campaign, in my honest opinion. I didn't even finish the campaign almost 3 years later of its release. I didn't even finish the campaign. That's because of how boring it is. I wasn't really a big fan of the Battlefront 2 campaign. But coming to Squadrons, again, I never played it before. Hopefully I can get content out by November for it. We'll see what happens. November, December. That's what I'm going to try to get. If I get the game in November or December, obviously I have videos starting those months. If I have it next year, 2021, I'm obviously not going to do story mode gameplay. I'm just going to do regular gameplay for the game. That's it. So hopefully I'll have the game in November or December. November, probably the earliest. But yeah, I think Squadrons is decent looking at either gameplay or looking at reviews. I think it does bring some player base, not a lot of player bases. I think there's still going to be a lot of Battlefront 2 players still, just because obviously Battlefront 2 has a variety of stuff like playing as a hero or villain, playing as a trooper or reinforcement, vehicle on the ground, ship in the air. And then for Squadrons, it's only ship in the air. It's not the other stuff. And honestly, I think some Squadrons could even been in Battlefront 2. I seen that argument a lot. I kind of agree with it. I think it definitely could be. So yeah, that's going to be Star Wars Squadrons at number 3. Now we're going to start off our top 2, in my personal opinion, probably the top 2 favorite EA Star Wars games. We don't know what other Star Wars games besides Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2, what is coming in the future for them. But yeah, that's all we know so far, just Jedi Fallen Order 2. But coming in at the number 2 spot is actually going to be Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And yeah, we know what number 1 is now, but we're going to go into number 1 when we get up to number 1. But coming and talking about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, it is really good for the single player games, and the people that love the single player games and mostly play single player games, and people that are not interested in multiplayer games are going to love this game. This game's actually available on Xbox, PlayStation 4, and PC. I'm an Xbox player, so I haven't experienced games on both those other platforms. I've only played games on Xbox One, 360, Wii, whatever the case is. But of course, the videos you see from me is on Xbox One, and then for other games like Among Us, it's on mobile. But talking about Fallen Order, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and honestly, it's actually kind of difficult. It's a little difficult. It's challenging on some parts. It's easy on other parts. I know some maps like Dathomir is pretty hard. I'll be honest. It's pretty hard.
You always left me satisfied and smiling, so... That's what she said!
But yeah, I did enjoy the game a lot. I think it was definitely a fun game to enjoy. If you obviously want to check out Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on the channel. Yeah, there is also a playlist of it, so you can check out the videos for it. I obviously done videos for The Journey from February to June. I have my review of the game in July, and then I did a ranking on planets video in August. If you want to check out those videos, just check out the Fallen Order playlist. But it's a lot of fun. The player base you're going to get is the people that really like single player games. It's not a Battlefront 2 player base. It's going to be pretty much whoever likes or doesn't mind playing a single player game is going to get that game. If you're someone that does not like single player games, even if you're a really big Star Wars fan, you're probably not going to get that game because you're not a big fan of single player games. I don't mind playing single player games, so I got that game and I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to enjoy. I think I gave it like an 8.5 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. I think an 8.5 out of 10 is what I gave it. But yeah, that's going to do it for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order at the number 2nd spot. Coming in at number 1, which is very obvious now, it's going to be Star Wars Battlefront 2, which it does have some problems of its own. I think it deserves like a 9 out of 10. There's still way more stuff it can get, honestly. It had a really bad launch, but it improved so much since then. But yeah, it does need some more improvement. But again, since it stopped development, it's not going to get that improvement any longer, unfortunately. And it's definitely a fun game. It's definitely a game for all types of Star Wars fans, from ground combat to starfighter combat to heroes and villains to vehicles. It's definitely something for every Star Wars fan base. As I said again, for Squadrons and Fallen Order, that's for something different for other fan bases. Battlefront 2 has it for all fan bases, and that's what I like about it. But that's going to do it for this ranking video. If you guys ended up enjoying this ranking video for ranking all EA Star Wars games, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here or you haven't subscribed yet. And make sure to hit the bell as well so you don't miss a notification when I upload a video. And comment down below your list of all Star Wars games ranked from worst to best, which is only 5 of them. So, and share the video if you enjoyed the video, and if you want to share it with other people as well. It would definitely be, I would definitely appreciate it. It would definitely help my channel a lot as well. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next Star Wars video on my channel. Peace out.